Hey, welcome back to Blue Ridge Backroads and Adventures, my YouTube channel. This is where I left off on part one of the profile and profile connector trail. I had to stop here at the Foscoe View, ran out of battery. So that was part one. That was 2 weeks ago. A little clouded in today. You can't see the can't see Elk Knob or Snake Mountain in the back because of the clouds. You can kind of see them. So this is 2 miles up. It was about 56 degrees at the parking lot. That's about 4,100 feet of elevation. I'm pouring sweat because I did that first 2.2 miles in about 38 minutes. The last mile is mostly climbing. So I'm at 4,580 feet elevation right now. It started where I started was 4,100 feet, but had a few drops and backups. So probably have about 1,000 feet of total climbing at this point. And from here on out, it is serious climbing. Here's the first good view of the profile rock and cliff that gives grandfather its name. You'll see when we get to the profile view how it does look like the profile of an old man from the Foscoe Valley and some other points. The whole of Grandfather Mountain also has a profile of or what looks like the profile of an old man lying down. Coming into the profile campsite, here you can see the pulley system to store your food and gear and keep the bears off of it. Hey, hey, good, how are you? Take a look at the campsite. Looks like someone staying the night here. Great spot. Started out a little warm today. Past few nights have been below freezing. As you can see, for some of the icicles that are still here. Cool traverse through here that the trail crew has built. Most of the profile trail was built by Jim Morton and Kenny Ballman with the help of volunteers years ago. Jim Morton is the son of Hugh Morton, the man that owned and is responsible for Grandfather Mountain being the nature preserve and state park and having the swing and bridge tourist attraction and not being developed. This land is pretty safe, I believe and I hope. I hiked this April 1st, 2020, and I came upon this rock bench here, and that there was a person there. As I got to him, I saw it was someone I recognized, and it was Kenny Bauman. He was sitting here reflecting on the life of his best friend Jim Morton that he had shared many hours on this trail with. April 1st, that date was the anniversary of Jim's death. He had died a few years before from a heart attack. I really like this stretch through here. You can see how mossy it is. So many levels of Grandfather Mountain as far as its ecosystem goes. Cool spot with a little rock scramble. And a neat little cave. And here is the profile view. This is the best spot on the mountain to see the view of the profile. You can make out the nose and the eyebrows of what was considered the old man, the grandfather, hence Grandfather Mountain, and the profile of, hence the profile trail. Always cool. A lot of people have seen this view dating all the way back to the Native Americans that lived here before this area was settled. They roamed this mountain. Lots of spirits on this mountain. As I said, it had been cold the past few nights. Cold enough to make snow. You can get a gap here. You can see through the trees and see Sugar Mountain Resort. They opened up yesterday, Monday, November 15th, for skiing this season. You can maybe see it through the trees there. Now starting the segment leading to Shanty Spring. More excellent rock work. A nice forested section leading to the Shanty Spring. It's called the Shanty Spring because at one time Again, probably before this whole area was very settled, there was a hunting shanty nearby. And this is definitely uphill, but it's not like the section after the spring. That gets steep. Okay, coming up on the spring. It's the only clean drinking water on the mountain that I know of. It's always good, and I don't know if you can find any colder water even in the hottest point of the summer. Last sure water source. And it's a trickle right now. I'll fill back up on the way down, but you can see the icicles from the last few nights of cold. And now we head up. This last 4/10 of a mile, about, well, 3/10 of it is wicked. And that sign says 2.7 miles back to Highway 105. I beg to differ. Both of my GPSs are showing around 3.3 miles to here, and a 5,600 and, let me see that again, 5,365 feet elevation. 5,300, so elevation wise I've already gained over 1,200 feet. This is where it starts getting technical, but it isn't as technical as it once was. In just the last year and a half, they've built or turned the rock into steps up this pitch. Just over, let's see, I hiked this in June of 2020, and at that point all these rocks had not been turned into steps. It was just a boulder garden the whole way up that you had to do a boulder scramble. Hi. They actually drove a small excavator, treaded excavator, up here to do this work. It didn't make it any less steep, of course, but it made it a little easier to negotiate, as now it's steps and no longer boulders that you have to climb and scramble over. I was disappointed in a way that they took some of the technicality out of it, but the people that work here, rangers, search and rescue crew, they say this does make it a lot easier to do carryouts when they have to, and they have to more often than you would think. A lot of people attempt to climb this mountain without proper gear and without or overestimating their fitness. This mountain is for real. Weather here can change at any time, so you always have to carry at least the minimal extra gear to keep you warm if something drastic were to happen. Just about to top out of this section. Okay, topped out. Now this drops us down to Calloway Gap, the intersection of the Grandfather Trail coming up on the intersection of Grandfather Trail, which to the right will take it back to the swinging bridge and the attraction parking lot. To the left takes us to Calloway Peak. So we'll end this video at this point, and I'll have another video of the pitch to Calloway Peak later. Hope you enjoyed the hike. Subscribe and like my channel, Blue Ridge Backroads and Adventures. Thanks for joining.